Okay, folks, remember when I showed you that the Kingdome in Seattle was demolished? This is a very important event because it was called the Kingdome. And I told you Seattle is going to be destroyed. And this demolition happened on March 26th in the year 2000, the Seattle Kingdome. And I told you that Elvis, he was known as the King. And Seattle is known as the seat of King County, because it has the word seat in it. Okay, anyway, Seattle is in King County, and I just told you that Elvis is known as the King. And I told you that Elvis was the first famous person to have anything to do with the Seattle Space Needle. He made a movie called It Happened at the World's Fair, and notice that Elvis's name is knocking down the Space Needle, you see, and it says Elvis swinging higher than the Space Needle. You see that? Anyway, Seattle's in Washington, right? And Washington's the 42nd state, and Elvis died at the age of 42. So this is a new video, so don't think just because you've seen these images before that it's not new. This is a new video. And I'm using index cards because it makes it just so much easier to make you guys understand it. So the Seattle Kingdome demolition was on March 26th, the year 2000, 326. And if you've been watching my videos lately, I told you that the 2322 is so important, and that's why the year 2022, 2023, right? And so from the Seattle Kingdome demolition, March 26th, the year 2000, to the day I'm telling you Seattle's going to be struck on June 11th, 2023. Notice it's 23 years, obviously, because it's the year 2000. It's perfectly even. So it's 23 years, 2 months, 16 days. And I told you the 216th day of the year is August 4th, the day Trump gets his head wound. So, and that's going to happen next year also. Anyway, but look, the percentage of the amount of days, 8,477 days, is 2322.47. Look, it's the 2322 again. And it just so happens from the exact day Elvis died on August 16th, 1977, to the day the Kingdome was demolished, this is the Seattle Kingdome, it was 22 years, you see? And then from the Kingdome demolition to the Seattle event that's going to happen next year, like I already showed you that, it's 23 years. So 22 years from Elvis's death to that demolition of the Seattle Kingdome, and 23 years, from going forward from there. So it's the 22-23 again. You see how it's all connected? And I know this looks exactly the same as what I just showed you, but it's a little bit different because, see, this is the Seattle slew date. Because earlier I just showed you from Elvis's death, August 16th, 1977, with these equations. Because this year, the year that Elvis died, there was a horse called Seattle Slew that won the Triple Crown. It's the most prestigious race in horse racing. And the name of this horse is Seattle Slew. Slew means to kill, all right? So, and it happened, he got the Triple Crown, the most prestigious race, like I said. He won it, was on June 11th, 77, the year Elvis died. You see? So it's the same equations, 22 years to the Seattle demolition of the Kingdome, and then from the Kingdome to the day I'm telling you Seattle's going to get struck next year, 22 years, 23 years. And I told you Elvis is going to be dead for he's already dead for 45 years, and he's going to be dead all the way up until next August 16th. So my two predictions happened within the 45 years of Elvis being dead. So the 22nd prime number equals 79, the 23rd prime number equals 83, and that equals 162. Okay, so if you add this up, it's 45, which I told you, and Trump is the 45th president, and next year he gets his head wound. Elvis has been dead for 45 years, and the prime numbers equal 162, and the 162nd day of the year, is June 11th. You see what I'm saying? And notice this, the remaining days in the year is 203. Look at that. There's your 23 again. So June 11th, the year 23. Get it? Anyway, the 162nd day of the year is June 11th. That's why I'm saying that. And it connects to the 22, 23 prime numbers. Elvis has been dead for 45 years. And you know, Elvis, he was born on January 8th, 1935, 1-8, right? And he had an identical twin that died at birth, okay? And I told you how important the word twin is, okay? First of all, look at this. It equals 108, right? And I told you Elvis was born on 108, January 8th. And look, he's been dead for 45 years, you see? And let's start with this. So twin is 66, 21 forward, 42, 24 backwards. So let's start with this, 66, 21. So from the exact day the identical twins were born, on January 8th, 1935, the identical twin died at birth. And up to the Twin Towers, when they came down on 9/11/2001, it's 66 years. And from 9/11 to the 6/11 event next year, it's going to be 21 years. Okay? It's, you know, I'm not putting the exact amount. It's 66 years, 8 months, 4 days right here, 21 years, and a bunch of months. But what I'm trying to say is it's 66/21. Okay? The amount of years. Which goes back to the word twin. 66 was from Elvis's birthday to the day the Twin Towers fell. And then from the Twin Towers falling to the day I'm telling you Seattle's going to get struck is 21 years. Okay? And now let's do the back. 42, 24. So from Elvis's birthday, the day he was born, him and the identical twin, to the exact day Elvis died, in 1977, and that's the same year that Seattle Slew won the Triple Crown on 6/11. So from Elvis's birthday, the day the identical twins were born, and one of them died, and then from Elvis's death is 42 years. And from Elvis's death to 9/11, it's 24 years. There's your 42, 24. Do you see it? 42, 24. I showed you the equation there and here. I mean, do you understand how impossible all these coincidences are? And if that's still not enough proof, let's look at this. 87, 66. So from the exact day that the Seattle Kingdome opened, it opened on March 27, 1976, to the Seattle Kingdome demolition day, March 26, 2000. Look at that. 8,766 days in between. All right? I mean, if you think that's a coincidence, you're nuts. It just goes right back to the twin number, 8766, which I was just showing you. So basically, I connected the whole word twin for you, you know. And by the way, I've shown this before, but I had to show this again. And the reason that March 26th is so important, the day the Seattle Kingdome was demolished, is because it's the middle ground between Elvis's birthday and June 11th. See, it's 77 or 78 days, 77 or 78 days from Elvis's birthday to 326, and from 326 to 6/11. It's the same amount of days. Do you see it? Which just so happens to be the exact same equation from Elvis's father, because, you know, that's the guy who gave birth to Elvis, you know, who created this Elvis. Elvis, his dad, was born on April 10th. From April 10th to the day he died, which was 6/26, is 77 or 78 days. And from 6/26 to 9/11 is 77 or 78 days. So basically from Vernon Presley's birthday to 9/11 is the exact same amount of days as it is from Elvis's birthday to 6/11. Okay? I'm sure that's just a coincidence. Anyway, like I said, Elvis was the first famous person to have anything to do with the Seattle Space Needle when he made that movie. It happened at the World's Fair. And he's knocking down the Space Needle. Okay? Elvis, his name. Now let me show you something about the Seattle Space Needle. So the opening date for the Seattle Space Needle was April 21st, 1962. And you know the Queen, she was born April 21st, 1926. It's the same numbers but backwards. But she was born on April 21st and the Space Needle opened on April 21st. And you remember years ago when I first showed this, I told you April 21st is 111th day of the year, and its backwards date would be the 254th day because it remains 254 days in the year. So what is the 254th day? It's April 21st, the Space Needle opening day. Its backwards date is September 11th. The 254th day is September 11th, see? April 21st was the 111th day. So, you know, even the Space Needle opening date's connected to 9/11. And that's why it's so important, this April 21st, okay? Not only is it the 111th day of the year, but on leap year, it's the 112th day of the year. Add those up, it's 223. Because I told you Seattle's going to get struck on 223, June 11th. And April 21st is when the Space Needle in Seattle opened, you see? It's just a connection. Anyway, the 200 next year is 2023. Anyway, right now we're talking about this March 26th, the Seattle Kingdome demolition and why it was so important. So from the day the Space Needle opened, okay, the exact date and year to March 26th, the day the Seattle Kingdome was demolished, it's 37 years, 11 months, 6 days. Again, another important number. Because it's the backwards of 611 and 911 upside down, and 37, the numbers 37 look like the letters EL. EL means God, and that's why in Hebrew. And Elvis, his first two letters are EL, you know what I mean? And I've shown how Elvis's name is connected to all this, and I'll show it again later. But look, you see the Seattle Space Needle opening date? Look at this. 4242162. Elvis died at the age of 42, and the 162nd day of the year is June 11th. It's right there in the date of the opening. You see? Elvis died at 42, and the 162, the 162nd day of the year is June 11th. And you know what's crazy is if you put March 26th into the gematria calculator, look what it equals. 230 forwards, 202 backwards. Look, it's a 2322. Can you believe this, man? And look, Elvis died in the year 77. Anyway, I'm just showing you the connections to this because that's the day, March 26th is the day that the Seattle Kingdome was demolished. Okay, because you know why I'm saying this? Because, see, the Kingdome sounds like kingdom. Because Elvis's kingdom is Seattle. You understand? It's got to be destroyed for him to get the crown. All right? And that's why Kingdome sounds like kingdom. It's the Seattle Kingdome. And you know, John F. Kennedy, his death, whatever, his supposed death was a spectacle, you know, that everybody saw. And it was a head wound because I told you Washington State is going to get a head wound. If you've seen my videos about Elvis's head looking like part of the tip of Washington, you know, the furthest tip or whatever. It looks like Elvis's head. Anyway, the Seattle Kingdome demolition date was 3/26, right? JFK's death date was 11/22, and November 22nd is the 326th day of the year. You see? You see how it's all connected? And you know, Washington's birthdays are 2/11 and 2/22. 2/11 is the 42nd day of the year. And then it was changed to 2/22, Washington's birthday. And interestingly enough, from JFK's death date to Seattle Kingdome demolition, you know, just in between the dates, how many days? 126 days. And I told you that King Charles, he's going to be, his coronation date is 5/6, which is the 126th day of the year. And look, it's 4 months, 5 days. And Elvis has been dead for 45 years. Trump is the 45th president. And it's connected to a head wound. You understand? JFK death, head wound. Or you can look at it from his birthday. JFK's birthday is 5/29, which so happens to be August 4th's backwards birthday, because 5/29 is the 149th day of the year, and August 4th is the 216th day of the year. It's its backwards birthday, August 24th. Okay, and I was the first one to reveal this years ago. I told you. And Trump's going to get his head wound on August 4th, which is the backwards of JFK's birthday, you see. But anyway, JFK's birthday to the demolition of the Seattle Kingdome, it can be either 666 days or 667 days. And on leap year, 668 days maybe. But anyway, like I said, it's 666 days also, depending on which years you use. If there's a leap year involved, then it becomes 667. And this image right here is another hotel that was demolished. And notice it looks like the top of the Space Needle right here. See, it's got a skinny body, and then this. And this was even in the movie Mars Attacks. When they demolished it, they put it in the movie also. But and the smoke, man, it looks strange. Anyway, here's another image of it. Like I said, it looks like the top of the Space Needle right here. This was right across the street from where Elvis was playing in Las Vegas all the time at the International Hotel. But this is the Landmark Hotel. Get it? Landmark. Anyway, it looks like a needle. All right. And it was demolished. Anyway, there's a reason why I'm showing you this, besides the fact that it looks like a needle, like the Space Needle. It was demolished on November 7th, 1995. 11/7/1995. So look at this. From the day the Landmark Las Vegas was demolished on 11/7/1995 to the day the Seattle Kingdome was demolished is 1,602 days. Look at that. It's, if you take, I told you this, the O can be a crown or nothing. It can be a zero. So it could be 162. And look at that. The June 11th is the 162nd day of the year. You see how everything's connected? All right. And I told you that it's 23 years from the Seattle Kingdome. So you have the 23 connection and the 162 right here. 162 with a zero, and then it was 23 years. And remember, the 162nd day of the year is June 11th, and its backwards date was the 203rd day, 203. So it's the same numbers, 162023230, 203. Whatever, you understand what I'm trying to say. It's, anyway, 1602. Anyway, that's what this whole 16-2-216 is all about, you see, because Elvis and his identical twin, Jesse supposedly died at birth. They were born on 1/8, so 1818 is 216, and the 216th day of the year is August 4th when Trump gets his head wound. And if you do the dates backwards like they do in the UK, they say the day first and the month in the back, 8181 is 16-2. Just like I showed you with the Landmark Hotel, there's 1,602 days. And the June 11th is the 162nd day of the year, the day Seattle's going to be struck. You see? It's all connected. And I told you, everything's about the twins, right? And the Twin Towers, look at the word towers. Okay, look what it equals on the top. 100 and backwards is 62. 162, see? You see what I'm saying? Towers equals 160. And you know what equals the exact same as the word towers? Look at this. The word twins with a crown on it equals the exact same as the word towers. 128, 62, 35. Same numbers. So twins with a crown equals the exact same as towers. 162, 28, 35. See? And even these numbers have a connection. Like I said, the 162nd day of the year is June 11th. And if you take the 1 and put it here, 163rd day on a leap year is June 11th. 162, 163. Get it? Anyway, it doesn't matter. The point is that towers equals twins with a crown. So this is the last thing I'm going to show you. So remember earlier when I showed you from Elvis's death to the day the Seattle Kingdome was demolished was 22 years, and then from the Seattle Kingdome to the day that Seattle next year on June 11th is going to be demolished. is 23 years, 22, 23. You understand, from Elvis's death to Kingdome demolition was 22. Then from there it's 23. Okay. And I'm sure that this is just a coincidence. So if you went from Elvis's death on August 16th, 1977 to the very next time March 26th came around, is 223 days. Look at that. 2223. Get it? Next year is 2023. 22, 23. Anyway, like I said, that's what this is all about. The 22, 23. Okay, this year is 2022. Next year is 2023. These are the prime numbers for 22, 23. It equals 162. 45 years Elvis has been dead. Trump is the 45th president. 162. June 11th is the 162nd day of the year. Okay, I told you next year is it. That's it. Anyway, these are my two predictions. Don't forget it. And like I said, in the near future, folks, I have mind-blowing information coming. This was nothing compared to what you're going to see in the future. Anyway, end of video.